on the Ruby Classics video magnifiers. You should test one out at Able Zone in Troy. They are your headquarters for the visually impaired, and they're easy to get to. They're on Rochester Road, just north of Big Beaver in Troy, and they're open Tuesday through Saturday. They're closed on Sunday and Monday, but you can always call toll-free and talk to Kathy. The number is 1-866-663-2253, or go to their website, ablezone.com. And again, that toll-free number to call and talk to Kathy is 1-866-663-2253. And stay tuned now for Ike Engelbaum. He's coming up next. Have yourself a wonderful day. Thank you for sharing the morning. I'm Bob Allison. Rob and I will see you tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock.
To WNZK, Dearborn Heights, Detroit, your ethnic superstation, 690 days, 680 nights.
Welcome to the bright side of aging. My name is Ike Engelbaum. I'm a pharmacist and the publisher of AmericanSeniorGazette.org. It has been wisely said, you cannot help getting older, but you can help getting old. It has also been said that age is a matter of the mind. If you don't mind, it doesn't matter. My purpose in doing the show is so that seniors and caregivers can share their ideas and questions on how we can age gracefully and in a vertical position for as long as our good genes will allow. And if we've inherited bad genes, how to outwit them. Our topics include senior housing, financial, legal, safety, travel, health issues, interesting senior events in the community, and most of all, tips on how to put old on hold. If you are diabetic, I am sure you have been warned by your doctor about the circulation problems that may occur, especially in your legs and your feet. That is why Medicare still pays for a free new pair of shoes if you're diabetic. And also, there's a system called neuropathy that may settle in that can be treated by a non-invasive system best described as the anodyne therapy. Call 1-888-489-8980 and find out how your leg circulation could be possibly improved by the anodyne therapy. Anodyne therapy is a non-invasive way of producing warmth in your legs and is applied by a professional in the convenience of your home or a nearby office. That's 1-888-489-8980. And if you'd like a free brochure on how Medicare can help you as a diabetic patient, many services are available for free. Call 1-888-489-8980.
If your question is, who am I going to call to bring the kind of services into my home that I need because I can't get out? House Calls on Wheels provides both medical and non-medical services in your home. They can bring in doctors, dentists, nurses, therapists, and more. And those medical services are covered by Medicare and most private insurance plans. And they have all sorts of non-medical services, whatever you need. Now, if you use 4 hours or more of non-medical services per month, you're going to get a free personal emergency button telephone that you can use for both emergencies or daily use. Call House Calls on Wheels toll-free for further information. 1-888-489-8980. That's 1-888-489-8980.
Hello, welcome, and hopefully you are enjoying a month of November with sun and almost heat. Wow. Michigan, when it does those kind of things, for me, is fantastic. Hopefully it does for you. And I'll tell you something, especially with sun, It is probably one of the greatest gifts we have in terms of feeling better. As many of you may know, I've had it in my own family where when it starts getting cloudy and gloomy, there's an actual medical condition that has been diagnosed called seasonal affective disorder. And ironically enough, when you use the letters, it stands for sad. You become sad because of lack of sunshine. So, the wonderful thing about the age that we're living in is that we have almost remedies for everything that comes along in life. And the worst thing that you can do is assume when things are not going right that you start feeling like you're victimized and you're the only one. Maybe it's not much of a consolation. I think it is that you are not the only person that has any particular condition that has not affected others. Now, in year 2017, we have devices and technology that can help you live life in as comfortable way and enjoyable way as is possible. That's why, as many of you may know, I not only do the show Bright Side of Aging, but I work with seniors in different community centers, and I'm available if you got a nice group of people, or even if they're not that nice. As long as you get 10 of them together in any one setting, I'll be glad to come out and give a talk on the bright side of aging, which is really the theme of the show. And one of the bright sides of aging is that you start thinking in terms of the positive aspects of life. We have now ways to maybe not eliminate all the discomforts, but at least make it a lot more easy to live with. And there are various strategies, and one of the biggest strategies that I found successful is reaching out, connecting with people. This may not be the happiest way to connect with people, but I feel very strongly about the fact that you should reach out to people around you. This coming Sunday, I am actually going to be in the audience over at the Holocaust Center in Farmington Hills, just north of 12 Mile Road. Martin Lowenberg, who is a Holocaust survivor, will be speaking at 1:30 on Sunday till 4. Refreshments, there'll be a tour of the center itself. It's a fundraising type of situation where we're not only reaching out to help the Holocaust Center, but also the Rotary clubs, both in West Bloomfield and in Ann Arbor. Please join us if you can. If you'd like to join us, my toll-free number is 888-489-8980. That's this coming Sunday, 1:30 to 4, on Orchard Lake Road, north of 12 Mile Road. It's $10 for adults, $5 for children. And as you know, I have a series of Ikeisms, as I call them. One of them that I like to quote is, the further back you look, the further ahead you can see. Well, if you look back at some of the terrible mistakes we've made in our society, hopefully we can avoid them for the future. I'm also really excited about the opportunities that you have. As you know, I always promote aging instead of not just aging, but saging instead of aging. I have the good fortune, the longer you live, the more people you meet. One of my colleagues in the pharmacy world that I've known probably for maybe about 500 years, maybe a little bit longer. Is that right, Jerry Gilfix?
That's about it.
Well, as I like to say, Jerry Gilfix, who's a pharmacist at Gilfix Drugs, is one of those pharmacists that even though you walk in as a patient not feeling so well, he's got an infectious smile that just makes you feel better in his presence. And he's made me feel better, not necessarily just as a patient. Fortunately, I haven't had to use his services because I'm a pharmacist. And Jerry Gilfix, go back so long. I'll tell you how long, Jerry, we've been friends. And that is when we got to be friends, the Dead Sea wasn't even sick yet. That's how long. So, Jerry.
It had its mornings when it wasn't feeling too good.
You had a drugstore on 6 Mile, was it?
Yes.
Near Telegraph. It was a neighborhood store, as we used to call it, right?
It was.
Uh-huh. So, tell me, in your situation now, obviously, you've retired and you've been at, so to speak, on the other side of the corner. Tell me about your pharmacy days. Did you offer any particular special services?
Good cheer and a smile and a willing ear. And people like someone to talk to, especially about their troubles. But those days are far behind me.
Right.
And my new situation reminds me of two things. Aging ain't for sissies. And when you travel on the airplane, they always say if you're with a kid, put your mask on first if needed, and then take care of them. And the reasoning, the rationale is that you have to take care of yourself before you can go on and do good or do whatever else you want.
Right.
The most important thing, I think, for we who are getting older is exercise. Exercise, good nutrition, and socialize. These three things keep us going. And there's more. Once you do that, you have to look for a rationale for being. Self-worth. Most of us are no longer working. We're no longer supporting people. And that used to be our rationale for living. Now we have to find other things to keep us happy. And happiness is something we should all stress for. Volunteering, doing good deeds, giving to a friend in need. Like Charles Dickens said, no one is useless in this world who lightens the burdens of another. And by doing things out of ourselves, giving of ourselves, is the only way I feel we can find happiness. So the main thing is take care of yourself and give of yourself.
I think that's probably one of the most important lessons to have, and that is a lot of people, when they take time for themselves, have a guilt complex. I should be doing something right. There is nothing wrong with not only, obviously, physical exercise, and you do not have to be Mr. Macho and doing weights and lifts, walking. And especially, I find some we have nature trails. I just love to go to different parks. I said many times. Now you talk about technology. It sounds sort of goofy, but if I find myself in an area and I've got some time and it's a little bit too early to get home and I am driving along, I use OnStar. I should really get paid by them because I love the service. I said, can you tell me the nearest park here? And believe it or not, they have that.
Excellent idea. And for those who can't get out and can't walk around in parks, even getting up during the commercial while you're watching television and moving around is better than just sitting through a commercial you've seen before or aren't interested in.
And besides, it gets you away from the commercial.
It gets the circulation going.
You know, I've never thought of it, but maybe I should contact these companies. They're actually providing us a service because they run so many commercials now that if you just did exercise during the commercials, you could have a complete exercise type program. Which reminds me, I've got some friends of mine that because of their concern about the weather and all, actually walk the house. And if you're fortunate enough to have some stairs in your house, you go up and down the stairs and you walk around the room. And I love music, which really is a phenomenal therapy.
I keep it playing all the time.
Right. And, you know, the power of music is incredible. And I've heard so many wonderful type of benefits of music. As you know, I publish a magazine, Bright Side of Aging, and one of my favorite poems that I have in there is about a 4-line poem about music. And it reads, "Music speaks what cannot be expressed, soothes the mind and gives it rest, heals the heart and makes it whole, flows from heaven to the soul." That's music.
Oh, that's
Isn't
nice.
that beautiful? Believe it or not, I got that poem. My mother was staying in a retirement home, and they had a bit of a music shop. And in the window of the little music shop, right on the premises, it was called Baycrest. Phenomenal facility in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And I just, once I heard that, it's absolutely phenomenal. And there's so many other simple type strategies that when we get back from our break, Jerry Gilfix, I can still call you pharmacist, right?
you can call me anything but late to dinner.
Once a pharmacist, always a pharmacist, as I joke about it. Pharmacists are the pillars of society. Anyway, that's supposed to be funny. Right now, we'll take a brief break, and we'll have the joy of talking with Jerry Gilfix and some highlights of a book that he showed me titled 100 Ways of Happiness. So come on back. Don't you dare go away. If you are diabetic, I am sure you have been warned by your doctor about the circulation problems that may occur, especially in your legs and your feet. That is why Medicare still pays for a free new pair of shoes if you're diabetic. And also, there's a system called neuropathy that may settle in that can be treated by a non-invasive system best described as the anodyne therapy. Call 1-888-489-8980 and find out how your leg circulation could be possibly improved by the anodyne therapy. Anodyne therapy is a non-invasive way of producing warmth in your legs and is applied by a professional and in the convenience of your home or a nearby office. That's 1-888-489-8980. And if you'd like a free brochure on how Medicare can help you as a diabetic patient, many services are available for free. Call 1-888-489-8980. House Calls on Wheels has a great idea on how you can help your loved ones stay comfortable, independent, safe, and right at home by converting your attached garage or retrofitting your home to a customized home healthcare suite. Call 888-489-8980. The Healthcare Suite is a customized floor plan which quickly and easily converts your garage or modifies any room inside your home into a comfortable living area in less than 90 days. If you'd like, The unit has its own heating, air conditioning, and plumbing system, even a private bathroom, and all of this for less than a year's stay in a nursing home. And we have a budget plan so that we can work within your budget. Call 888-489-8980. We even have a free video that you can see. Call 888-489-8980 and find out about the healthcare suite now. And welcome back. And in studio is a fellow pharmacist, Jerry Gilfix, who is the owner and operator, and I think you actually cleaned up in the bathrooms at the end of the day, too, as I recall. Is that right, Jerry Gilfix? You cleaned
Only
up
when I was expecting company.
I see. How long did you have Gilfix drugs?
23 years.
23 years. All right, well, that's great. And the sad part about the pharmacy world is that unfortunately we didn't have those kind of stores. When you and I graduated, you didn't know of drugstores that were more than about 2,000 square feet. Now, these are mega stores, and there was a joy that you had in dealing with patients because you really got to know them. And pharmacists have always been looked upon as a healthcare provider that most patients felt very close to because, let's face it, all you need to do is walk into the drugstore and there you are. Unlike a doctor who can...
Free advice.
Free advice, and also the knowledge that you have. And unfortunately, you had to deal with taking care of your wife and when she was suffering from dementia, so suddenly giving advice became actually acting on your advice. Is that correct? Is that how it works? Suddenly you got to do stuff. Is that right? You dealt with Barbara, was it? She started developing early symptoms. How did it go?
Well, very gradually she developed dementia. And as I left my working days, I spent time being a caregiver until I was a full-time caregiver. I joined a group at the Caustic Center, which is on 11 Mile Road near Telegraph, a support group for other people who were taking care of someone. And it was a lifesaver for me because there were people who understood the problems I faced, and they had solutions, they had suggestions. So many of us who take care of other people don't know the right ways, like don't argue with them because you can't win an argument, and how to treat them, little tips like they need physical contact. And I still belong to the group, even though I'm no longer a caregiver. And there are others in the group because we have formed such a bond. And when new people come in, we have the ability to give them the extent of our knowledge that we have gained. And it's surprising how many people come in and they make the same mistakes that we hear over and over again. And some of the people join our group, stay for a while and go, and some of us just keep going to the group. And personally, I can't conceive of ever not going to the group.
Well, you know, I had the privilege of joining you in a few of those situations, and Mary Bichon, who's the facilitator, we're talking about the Caustic Center right at 11 Mile in Middlebelt. It's It's almost on the same. Well, it is on the same campus of Mercy College, 11 Mile in Middleville, Farmington Hills. But if anyone calls our toll-free number, 888-489-8980, I not only can identify some of the similar type support groups that are out in the community, but even help in getting it started. And it's amazing. Someone like Mary Fachini, who's had a social background, really enjoys what she does. There's no cost involved. In fact, you bring in cookies and stuff, and all of a sudden it becomes not only a support group, but you're making friends with a common interest. And I cannot stress the importance that when you're having difficulty, like I mentioned in our earlier segment, you're not the only one that has to be dealing with those type of situations. And we talked about the value of exercise, nutrition, and also hydration, which we many times don't realize that as we get older, it's very important to drink plenty of water. And I had a friend of mine who, because he had a kidney transplant, ended up in the hospital only because he was not drinking enough water. There are a lot of simple things that you can have, and I was amazed how many great tips that you can bring up having those type of sessions.
And drinking a lot of water gives you the exercise because you have to go to the bathroom.
To get better. Right, well, there you go. It's coming and going. And if you belong to a church or any house of faith, start your own group. It is amazing. So many people say, oh, I'm just one person. I guarantee you, and I'll be glad to help you in that venture, there's some churches that have actually, because of the members of the congregation, shared in the importance of reaching out to the seniors in the area. They started sort of a day care center right in the church. One that comes to mind, it's Fireside Church out in Westland. This one there started out. If you'd like to start something like that, it's amazing how, and we talked about it before we got on the air, spirituality is also an important component. Wouldn't you agree?
I would. No matter what you believe in, what spirit or higher being, it is important. There's more to life than just physical, and self-esteem is important, a reason for being, and self-worth. And we get that, I think, by giving to others. Mm-hmm. So
yes.
Whatever your faith is, I think faith in your fellow human beings and giving to your fellow human beings. Like this time of the year, we hear so often it is more blessed to give than receive.
Right.
Well, there's some truth to that.
Well, there's a whole bunch of truth. And in fact, one of the other bright sides of aging is that, think about it, in our younger years, you felt, there's a set number of different belief systems. Now, you've got more belief systems that can. There are, humanist congregations. They don't even believe in God. They believe in themselves. And, of course, there's Catholicism, Presbyterianism, Judaism, of course, and Muslims. They have
You don't like Buddhism? You don't like Buddhism?
Listen, I like...
You got to give them equal time.
I got news for you. One of my theories is that I never criticize anyone's belief system. You know why? Very practical reason. I figure that when I get up there, if I made the wrong mistake, I don't want to be badmouthed by the other one. This one I'm covered.
Good thinking.
And in order to enjoy life, and, in almost every religion, the importance of exercise and taking care of yourself and giving back is a common thread. And no one prevents you, if you don't quite believe in the way that particular religion is practiced, that you still don't benefit by the camaraderie that you have. We talked about, how great it is when you're working and what have you. You got a purpose of going. All of a sudden, you got a purpose of going to services, functions. You got to reach out.
A reason for
what was his
being.
Barbara Streisand? People who need. And I'm not charging for singing today. Unfortunately,
good
Jerry's
you're
been a
not
delight to
charging.
talk to you, but I don't have enough time except for my favorite parting thought about the bright side of aging, which is yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, today is a gift, and that's why we call it the present. Please enjoy your present by looking and living life with the bright side of aging. Welcome to the Entrepreneurs Network radio show. Our mission is to interview successful entrepreneurs who are willing to share with us their ideas and experiences, both the successes and the failures. Because as it has been jokingly said, you should learn from the mistakes of others because you'll never live long enough to make them all yourself. My name is Ike Engelbaum, and I'm the founder of the Entrepreneurs Network of Michigan, which is a group of motivated people that are all interested in helping each other and achieving our personal and professional goals. Please check out our website, EntrepreneursNetworkofMichigan.com, for meeting schedule as well as self-improvement material. Our philosophy is that if it's to be, it's up to me. When it's time to move, don't trust all your memories and most prized possessions to just some guys with a truck. Get personalized first-class treatment from bonded and experienced moving professionals. If you're confused about all the details involved in moving from one household to another, call 1-888-489-8980. Is always the concern of who should I call about the utilities? How shall I handle my household appliances? What should I do about my pets? What do I need to handle in advance of the move? For a free brochure titled Practical Hints to Make Moving Day Easier, call Aberdeen Van Lines at 1-888-489-8980. We can even help you in selling your home or any furniture that you may no longer wish for your next move. Let Aberdeen help make your move a dream. So call 1-888-489-8980 now.
If you're one of those folks who needs a helping hand, like somebody to provide transportation or grocery shopping or help you pay your bills, run your errands, laundry pickup and delivery, maybe somebody to help you with bathing and grooming or in-home hair cutting and styling, you can't get out and you need medical help, maybe a doctor, a dentist, a nurse, a podiatrist, you name it, or prescription delivery, House Calls on Wheels is the answer. They provide both non-medical and medical services in your home. The non-medical services start as low as $10 an hour if you're using any of the medical services, and all of the medical services are covered by Medicare and most private insurance plans. Call House Calls on Wheels for further information. It's a toll-free number, 1-888-489-8980. That's House Calls on Wheels, 1-888-489-8980.
And welcome, and hopefully you are getting ready for the new year. Whoa. You're going to have to add one more digit when you write a check or anything. It goes fast, and the good news is that we're experiencing a nice break in the weather for our neck of the woods.
And I'm sure that Santa Claus probably appreciates the breathing time he has, because this way, if he wants to sort of warm up a little bit, he can come to Michigan and wrap some of the packages and all. But the old line goes, you know why Santa Claus says ho, 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 don't you? Well, you would too if he only had to work one day a year. Well, as an entrepreneur, to be successful and actually take advantage of being self-employed is that you do have the flexibility of time, but you have to make the money in order to enjoy that off time. And that's why we have our weekly entrepreneurial network meetings every Thursday morning, including tomorrow morning, 9:15 to 10:30. Free donuts and coffee at the Level 1 Bank, 37100 North. Actually, it's on Woodward in Bloomfield Hills, southeast corner of Big Beaver and Woodward. We've got a great speaker, Mario Fachini, who we're going to be interviewing after the break in the program, who will be sharing 7 simple things you can do in your business with what you already have. So it should be exciting. It's free to attend. And likewise, we always have our toll-free number available to you to put you in touch with some of the other great entrepreneur individuals that I've met. One of the friends and fellow entrepreneurs that I've had the joy of knowing for years and years is Dr. Andre Lee, who is now in Tennessee. Dr. Lee and Andre Lee, how's that? Dr. Lee in Tennessee. He was the administrator of the Highland Park General Hospital, and when they closed up, he decided to go on the entrepreneurial path and started a nonprofit organization, Leeway Foundation, which is devoted to giving back. And because of his healthcare background, a good portion of it is devoted, as far as the proceeds, to help young black people get into the healthcare field. Because that still is one of the great career paths people can take. As a pharmacist, I can tell you that I'm very happy that I took that path, because you not only are helping people get better, but you feel better helping them get better. And you're doing that through your knowledge and expertise. And talk about expertise, Dr. Lee is the man. He's been involved in several different ventures, and not only started some hospice programs, but helps other people wanting to get into the whole arena of healthcare. Is that correct, Dr. Lee?
Yeah, yes, sir. That's a very long introduction there. I was also administrator of Meharry Medical College Hospital for about 15 years. So actually, I was there longer than I was at Highland Park. But I've been also a businessman now for, I guess, going on 20 years. It's been a while. I started operating several businesses while I was still administrator, and I have come to enjoy it a lot more than I did as an administrator. I mean, I enjoy both, but the independence that you feel as a business owner is just tremendous. And there's a joy there that you can't describe, because when you walk into that office, everything in there is yours. The desk, the lamp, and you just feel so good. Nobody can fire you. Nobody can tell you you're late. Nobody can tell you you're staying too long. This is it. And all the money you make is yours to spend as you so choose.
Right.
And I'm telling you, it's a real, in particular if you choose an industry or business that you have a passion for, That's certainly got to be key an element if you decide to go into business. You got to have a passion for the business.
Right. Well,
you just can't bake cookies because you think Miss Fields is making money.
Right.
You got to have a passion for cookies.
Yeah, well, that's why they call it. That's the way the cookie crumbles. Usually, it crumbles
Exactly.
and you don't get a profit out of it. So use your talent, and you brought out a magic word, and that's passion. Because if you don't really have a passion for what you want to do, you basically are putting yourself into a situation of where you'll be unhappy, even if you luck out in making some money. But you also have to be realistic and identify your talent. And that's why we have what I like to call a application that we have it on our website, Entrepreneurs Network of Michigan, and we give them out at the respective meetings. And to your credit, you haven't limited yourself in getting your message out. You not only are doing training now with the technology, with the webinars and all, but you've written some books. The one that comes to mind is Loose Ends. Is that book still available?
Yes. In fact, Loose Ends 2 is out. Loose Ends I did 5 years ago, I guess. Now time passes. But Loose Ends 2 is due out actually end of this year, end of December.
Right.
I'm doing the final touches to it right now. Cover design has been taken care of by a graphics person, and I anticipate having it available in print and digitally.
Wow!
And so I'm really excited about it. We update. Ms. Green is our co-author, and we updated Betty Green. We updated the contents. Some of the old stuff is still there, but we added some new stuff and added some better graphics and, to make it a little more pleasant to the eye and easy to read. That will be out.
And, as recently as yesterday, I got a call from one of our listeners who's concerned about their parents. They're out of state. And they thought that they could use our services from House Calls on Wheels, where we provide in-home care. But the parents at this point are really sort of on the fence about, do we want somebody coming in? We seem to be handling things. But the sad part about it as you age, and I like to think in a positive way, is that you are reluctant to face reality. It's called self-denial. So I suggested to them that, talking to the son privately, I said, maybe your parents are ready right now, but you should get all their information and their current conditions so that if things do turn to a more fragile state for them, you have everything. And in Loose Ends, you have a pretty good breakdown of what someone needs. Is that correct?
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that they have accumulated a lot of assets, and you forget that if something should happen to you, people don't always know where you put all those assets,
Right.
and what you own and how to access them. And of course, these days you got 1,001 passwords that you got to keep up with. So, even now I've got insurance policies I forgot I had. And so it's important for you to be able to document this stuff and leave it for you. And plus, you don't want your family fighting over these things either. So it's important that you give directions to people as to what you want to do with your legacy that you took all your life to build up.
Right.
That goes without saying. And if you have a business, you definitely gotta outline that what you want to be done with the business.
Right. Well, in the book, it's really a warm and friendly way of getting the information, and you can actually have guidelines for your parents at their convenience to review and redo, so to speak. And it's an easy way, especially it's always uncomfortable for the children to turn to their parents and suddenly ask them a whole bunch of questions. But with this book, it's a guide for them to realize that, hey, I should have this available to them. Is that correct?
Yes, it's got all kinds of little simple templates in there, or easy to do steps to take to do your inventory, to set your will in place, durable power of attorney, all of that, so that people know what you want done.
And if
And it's easy to do. It's easy to fill out. I didn't make it complicated. We're not trying to make it complicated.
No, right. Well, we're try to reach out to seniors and their caregivers as to how they can live life as stressless as possible. And there's nothing more, frustrating and also stressful than when you run into an emergency. If you got loved ones that are in need of help and you have no idea about their medical condition, whether you even have the authority to intervene. If anyone is interested to hear from Dr. Lee, as well as get a copy of this book, it's free in the sense that we don't charge you for the book, but we handle the shipping and handling fee, which is very moderate. And to show you how we trust you, you don't have to send a check in advance. You call our toll-free number, 888-489-8980. That's 888-489-8980. We'll send you a book out. And when you get it, just send us in the shipping and handling charge, which, as I say, is a nominal fee. It's under $10. And it could mean the rest of your life you would have a document of your loved ones readily available to you, and would give them peace of mind as well. Dr. Lee, we got to continue our conversation on our next visit. Right now, I only have enough time to say have a great day, and we'll be right back.
All right, very good, sir. Thank you.
If you're one of those folks who needs a helping hand, like somebody to provide transportation or grocery shopping or help you pay your bills, run your errands, laundry pickup and delivery, maybe somebody to help you with bathing and grooming or in-home hair cutting and styling, you can't get out and you need medical help, maybe a doctor, a dentist, a nurse, a podiatrist, you name it, or prescription delivery, House Calls on Wheels is the answer. They provide both non-medical and medical services in your home. The non-medical services start as low as $10 an hour if you're using any of the medical services, and all of the medical services are covered by Medicare and most private insurance plans. Call House Calls on Wheels for further information. It's a toll-free number, 1-888-489-8980. That's House Calls on Wheels, 1-888-489-8980.
And welcome back. And I know all of you have heard in the entrepreneurial world that you get what you pay for. I have a series of Ikeisms, as I like to call them, and one of them is if you're really sharp, you should be able to get more than you paid for. And where am I going with this? As those of you who listen to the program know, we meet every Thursday morning from 9:15 to 10:30. And then we have sort of networking afterwards till around 11:30. We meet at the Level 1 Bank, 37100 Woodward, southeast corner of Big Beaver and Woodward. And we have free donuts and free coffee. And we are going to have the privilege of hearing a free 10-minute to 20-minute presentation from Mario Fachini. He is a consultant's consultant. Yes, you heard me right. He teaches business professionals that want to do coaching as well. But he himself has got the typical, or I should say atypical, entrepreneur background. Usually people get masters and MBAs, and then they call themselves consultant. Well, I got news for you. As an entrepreneur, the best experience you have is actually doing stuff, not reading about it. Mario Fachini graduated high school and dropped out of college. And like young people at that stage in their life, figure the sky's the limit. And his background, he realized that the sky is not always reachable. It may be a limit, but he knocked himself around in the school of hard knocks, so to speak, where he realized he was chasing the wrong clients. He was wasting his time chasing people that couldn't really help his financial situation. So, as they say, he recalculated. And Mario Fachini now, for what you're going to be hearing tomorrow, charges some big bucks. But you're going to get it for free. His title is going to be, How Would You Like to Capitalize on Turning Your Expertise into Profits? He's going to be giving you 7 simple things you can do in your business with what you already have. Sound interesting? Well, come on down. This is a bargain. It's free. And you'll get a chance to talk to him after his presentation. And I am sure that you're going to be able to get some ready-to-action steps as to how you can use your talents to maximize making a handsome willing, and actually a living to where you can not only just live, but thrive. Is that a fairly decent description, Mario, of what we'll be expecting?
Well, I appreciate that, Ike, very much. It's always a pleasure. It's a great day to be here, and I'm excited to share with your group again because there's so many people out there, and they have the information, they have the knowledge, they have the skill set, they definitely have the passion, the desire, and they want to go help people in the marketplace, but they go, well, I have a problem with getting people there, and then I have a problem keeping them there, and even if you have people there, it doesn't mean you're going to make any sales, and then what about all this online stuff? So that's why I created the 7 steps, because when you follow and go through them, and I'll just recap them here real quick for your listeners. You know, we don't have time to get into it now, but we'll recap them so they should come out tomorrow. But the first one is attention. You need to get your prospects' attention if you ever have any chance. It's not a guarantee. It's just a chance and an opportunity to serve them. You need to get their attention. 2, you have to be positioned as the authority. No one's going to listen to you if they don't think you know what you're doing. 3, associate. You need to be able to build that bond, that relationship, and let them know, that you care. One of my favorite quotes is, people don't care how much you know unless they know how much you care. The 4th one, advise. You have to give them actionable advice. You can't just say, hey, let's get coffee and this and that and talk for 2 hours and go, oh, that was nice. I actually don't really like that method because there's no qualification. You should qualify who you're talking to for your time. You can't get your time back. I learned that more than ever this year. You can't ever get your time back with your friends and family. 5, actuate. You have to get your prospects to take action. How are you going to help them? How in the world are you going to help them if you can't get them to do something different? If they're doing it one way and you go, I can help you, but you have to do it this way, and you can't get them to do that, that's where influence and encouragement comes in. 6, automate. Nowadays, there's no reason that you need to be killing yourself, hitting your head against the wall, or doing repetitive tasks. That's what robots and software are for. There's people I know that still don't use email marketing. That's been around nearly 20 years. That's one way to automate a process. It might take 10 minutes to set up, but if you don't have 10 minutes in an entire year for a business, you probably don't have a business either. And lastly, but not least, is advertise. All the big companies realize they need to stay in front of people. They're not going, they're not going to 400 appointments a week all over town driving themselves insane. They're paying for ads that work 24/7 for them to drive this whole process. So you can always meet with people afterwards. I'm all about the relationships. I love people. But I'm not spending it with someone I met just last night. That's all they're doing is getting information from me just to go, oh, I'll think about it. I mean, I have thousands of videos on Facebook, YouTube. I have multiple books. There's all kinds of things you can do, and I call them building assets for your company.
Well, you've covered top-notch points, and I want to pick up in the time that we do have on something that really hits right in on the target, and that is the importance of advertising and doing it to your audience. I have talked to so many entrepreneurs over the years who, if they've got an invention that they have, or they have some sort of a service, so they figure out how much it's going to cost if it's in the service business, how much of a salary they're going to need for themselves as well as whoever they're going to associate with, and the expense of the rent and the what have you, that they have in sort of a systematic way because of their accountant. But when I say, now, how are you going to advertise? Oh, I really haven't put aside for advertising because it's an expense. Well, guess what? I've adopted this, as I like to call them, Ikeisms. And what that means, I take certain sayings that strike my mind and ears and try to give credit to whoever said it initially. Henry Ford has been quoted as saying, this is the original Ford, who said, not if you do not advertise, and you think by doing that you're saving money, it's the same thing as if you were going to stop your clock in an effort to save time. It ain't gonna happen. You have to use the services of someone like Mario Fachini, who's a consultant. And people say, oh, consultant, I'm too small. But you deal with a pretty wide spectrum of entrepreneurs as far as their situation. Is that correct?
Yes, I've helped small, medium, and large companies, because I was having this conversation with someone just yesterday, and the big companies, they might have more people, but it doesn't mean they're doing stuff efficiently. They just have more people. The smaller companies probably aren't doing it efficiently, and they have less people. The mid-size, it's a 50-50 shot. But either way, when I was growing my company and I was going, I need more staff, I need, have over 100 clients at this point, and I'm looking to get stuff done, I ran the numbers on it. I go, whether I have 5, 10, or 20 staff, it's not going to matter because we're inefficient every single time we're going through the product. It's like the assembly line, speaking of Henry Ford. If he said, hey, let's just get more staff to hammer on the cars versus building the assembly line, he could increase production, but no one is near as efficient as they could be. And now I joke with people. I go, oh, great, you don't want to waste your time anymore, so you hire people. Now you're wasting their time. Just because you're paying them doesn't mean they enjoy it. I mean, no one likes repetitive tasks no matter what you do. That's why we have software and robots to replace that stuff. And we should be doing stuff where we can think that only humans can do, that have emotion and empathy, not turning a light switch on and off 400 times a day.
And something that is vital that I'm sure you'll agree that you can bring to someone who's serious about wanting to make a substantial income is that you can identify to them who they shouldn't even be bothered chasing. Am I right?
Absolutely, and that's where the qualification process, I remember last time I shared, this lady that was sitting on the left side of the audience, she was like, oh my gosh, that's good. And I was like, great, I'm glad you got something out of it, like right in the moment, because she had never thought to qualify the people. Well, if you talk to 20, 30, 50, 100 people a week, do you really have time to go talk to every single one to just see if they're interested? You can replace that with a simple video that takes them somewhere else, that gives a little bit of information, and if they're interested, send them to an online calendar. It's so simple. It's super inexpensive. And now the people coming through, they're qualified and they're booking their own time, and you still have the right of refusal to say, you know what, I don't like this application. They don't seem like a good fit. Thanks for applying, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be a good fit right now.
And that gives you time to go for the people that do have the capability of having you be more successful. And there is more tomorrow morning, 9:15 to 10:30. Please join us with Mario Fachini. Mario, as always, it's a delight and an education to talk to you. Unfortunately, I've run out of time. I only have time for my favorite parting thought, which is if you really want to get anything done in life, you'll find a way. And if you don't, you'll find an excuse. And there is no excuse for not achieving your dreams and goals in America, because it is the greatest country in the whole world. Remember, a goal is just a dream with a